All right, we're gonna go
because I
into the
think
time machine now. We'll go into the time machine. We're gonna go back in time for there's a couple of topics. All right. Now, Stacey, you said we need to get in and out on this, but I think we do need to discuss this at this point here.
Damn.
All right, Scott, what do you got on this?
Man, they was giving him that Eminem. Hey, but hold on though. Why Gladys Knight wasn't piping up for Luther though? Why she piping up for young Bobby?
Because he was crossing over. Because she was saying like if he's crossing over from pop to R&B, Bobby should be able to do the same thing.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Auntie Gladys wasn't having it.
Go ahead, Stacey. What you got?
So there's an article that I actually found in the LA Times from around that time. So January 30th, 1989, George Michael was the first white artist to win Favorite Soul R&B Male Artist Award. So this was at the American Music Awards. And then his album Faith has also won Favorite Soul R&B. That win caused a huge controversy in the Black music community. So the article in the LA Times was called "The Whitening of Black Radio: a musical community fears the loss of its identity." And it goes on to talk about how George Michael was such a darling of Black radio that he ended up defeating Michael Jackson as the nation's favorite male rhythm and blues singer at the Anglo American Music Award shows. All of this activity has led to an ironic situation. After years of campaigning to get more Black artists on white-dominated pop stations, much of the Black music community now finds itself in the awkward position of talking about the need to keep white people off of Black radio. So that was, and there's also there were a lot of articles that came out. Apparently in July of that year, there's an article in Jet magazine, in Ebony, called "Blue Eyes Soul: Are Whites Taking Over Rhythm and Blues?" So this was like a real concern that white people were taking over Black radio. And they said, but to Michael's credit, he was incredible. He was gracious and accepted an award and gave an explicit shout out to Black radio. Yeah, again, which was a rare mention by a white artist in that era. It's a rare mention for a white artist now. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But at least he understood I'm a visitor. Or as he even said, he's like, I didn't ask for these awards. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not happy that I got them, but I didn't ask for that. But it is you put something out and it gets radio play. So I fuck with Wham, I fuck with George Michael. The documentary that he has out about him is awesome. And then the reality is there's it was something I was reading earlier. It was like all of your favorite movies have sampled George Michael, have sampled a George Michael song.
You don't hear Careless Whisper on some little romantic something from the 80s.
Listen, I ain't never gonna dance again, okay? You have got no rhythm.
I went to go revisit and look at 1988 Grammys where George Michael won his R&B award. He won it with Aretha Franklin. So and it's her last, it was second to last Grammy. She got one in the 90s too. They just throwing Aretha Bones randomly, I feel like, in the Grammys, just like
she the queen.
Yeah, just throwing her random like this. Do y'all remember the Aretha Franklin George Michael song, "I Knew You Were Waiting for Me"? Y'all remember that?
I kind of remember it. I remember them having a song. I just don't remember how it go.
Do y'all want to hear the other category people?
Yes.
Who else was in the category?
Levert Casanova, Club Nouveau, Lean on Me, The Whispers, Rock Steady, and Prince and Sheena Easton, You Got the Look.
Sheena Easton, I did not know was Scottish.
What?
I learned that today.
She's not Hispanic?
Sheena Easton. I learned earlier today.
I just looked. Damn, you're right.
Because what I was reading mentioned Sheena Easton. And I was like, Sheena Easton? And let me say this. When I was little, I used to mix up Sheena Easton and Sheila E. Not because I thought they looked
that's what
alike, but
happened. Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Names. Right, I've mixed up the names. Sheena Easton, Sheila Easton. Sheena Easton. The UK. Like,
yeah, no, she is. That's always a Sheila Easton was Sheila E. So that's why I made her Hispanic in retro in my mind.
So what is Paula Abdul?
Ain't she just mixed?
Is it my Wi-Fi?
Yeah, yours is slow up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I gotta go listen to this Aretha Franklin George Michael song at this point.
I remember the song. I just forget how it goes.
And it's like weird, like they go up and down, you know, with the because like this is like they seem like they be getting it pretty good. In general, when with these for a few years, after a while, they start getting them kind of right. Like the year after that, they had Love Overboard from Glass Night and the Pips. Then the year after that was Soul to Soul, Back to Life. Like they were, you know.
That was what, 89?
Back to Life?
With Love Overboard and
89. Because Aretha Franklin, George Michael was 88. I'm just saying Casanova from Levert, our rock steady.
I'm starting to think they must have gave it to her because they gave Tina on them awards a few years earlier. Just to give her something.
Yeah, because they gave Aretha one in like the 90s, early 2000s for some reason too.
Yeah,
and
they got to give us something every decade.
Yeah, and it wasn't for Rose is a Rose now, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
It wasn't for song that we know. It's something random.
What was that on the soundtrack or something?
No, that was on her last album.
That was on her album. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me see. What was this? List of awards and nominations. Because it's going. I remember I was like, how did Aretha win one in 90? Yeah, she won in 2006.
The Rose song, that's the only song I know her dropping in the 90s.
she won Best R&B Vocal Performance in 2006.
For what? Oh,
well, she won one in 2004 and then one again in 2006. One is for Wonderful in 2004, and then in 2006 she won for a remake of House Is Not a Home.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they probably just remade something.
I'm like, how did Aretha win that? Like I was just giving them up to because let me see who else was in this category this year. This one Beyonce was running things too. She was coming up.
That's the she started dropping her solo stuff.
Yeah, this is so 04. So that year 04. These are some weird songs that maybe Aretha should have won. Earth, Wind and Fire, Hold Me, Anthony Hamilton, Coming From Where I'm From, Patti LaBelle, Way Up There, and Kelly Price, He Proposed. So I don't know what was going on R&B in 04. I thought it was some better R&B songs in 04 than those.
Damn, He Proposed was nominated for a Grammy?
And so I'm like, yo, what was going on in 04?
What was they? He Proposed was nominated for a Grammy. What the?
I don't even know. I don't understand.
Man.
And then she won in 06. She beat Mariah Carey, Mine Again, Fantasia, Summertime, Alicia Keys, If I Was Your Woman, and John Legend, Stay With You.
They was just giving her something on that one. They was like, here you go, Queen.
Because let me see. Did they play her in the back in the day? Was she getting the
what had to been late 60s? What was her first album? This like late 60s?
68 is the first album.
The
first album she got nominated for. So she was winning. She won in 68. She won in 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75.
Beating out Diana Ross. She was top dog.
Hey.
That's why she the queen.
Hey, she was beating out Diana Ross. and low key, I'm looking at it. This where the beef with Patty come from because she getting all of them.
Yeah. So you would think her and Diana Ross will have a beef.
Dude, she won. Oh, she won for Jumpin' Jack Flash in 87.
And then she once she in Blues Brothers, then she gets something for Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers, yep. Dude, then she won. Then she flipped on gospel on y'all and won at 89 for best gospel.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she knew the game. She was like, "Let me jump in this John. Let me go over here.
Yeah,
Jump over here.
Oh,
they still love me over here." That's what Beyonce doing.
Yeah, no, Beyonce's doing it right.
Yeah, that's what Beyonce doing. Let me get all these Grammys.
Let me get all these Grammys.
It's like Pokemon. They got to get them all.
All right, as we Stacey's gonna come back in a sec, but let's get back to so let's go to revisiting Menace to Society soundtrack. We've been going through different albums in the 90s, 2000s, 80s, and we're gonna revisit and discuss different albums and re-review them. And the first edition we talked about Above the Rim. You can check that out. But this one we are talking about Menace to Society soundtrack. We also reviewed it too, if you want to check out that. But
hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC Network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.